Well, it's filming.
Is that going to be an issue?
I don't know. I would still project just in case.
Excellent.
Hello, I'm Kathleen Hoover. I'm a senior.
Hello, I'm Luis.
Okay.
If I look at my phone.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
It was my first experience ever with IDX. Was my first year at Breakaway right after 8th grade. We had not moved here yet, and but we're invited. My siblings and I were invited to go on Breakaway anyway, even though we didn't actually go to in-town yet. And I was really scared going into it. I didn't know anyone, and I was just nervous and felt like on the outside, and I didn't know if people were gonna like me or accept me, and I didn't want to move in the first place. So this was kind of like the first like, fine, I guess I'll go. But I got to in-town, and we were, you know, out in the parking lot, and I met everyone, and like within minutes I just felt so loved and so accepted, and people were so kind to me in every way, and that just meant the world to me. And that was my first experience of just the IDX community, and how different it is from honestly the rest of the world. It's just so welcoming and so open, and everyone is just so kind and so ready to bring people in who are on the outside and accept them into their family.
Just like the general like family aspect of it taught me how to like trust God when everyone's telling you not to, and just like having that group to like go and be like with God and stuff. Yeah.
Well, one thing that Becca has always said is that under Jesus we are all a family, and IDX is a family, youth group is a family, church is a family, and that we're all there to support each other and to help each other grow and love each other, and to call each other out when we do something stupid, things like that, and just one big family under Christ, and that's always really stuck with me. Having a place where even when it's a really long week or a really hard week and I'm really tired and I do not want to go to IDX, or I just want to be at home and just get stuff done, coming to IDX and coming to this place where people will love me, and the moment I walk in the door I'm loved, and it just really illustrates what a great Christian community can do and how we can support each other and love each other through life, and that has been really, really, really special, and I'll treasure it for a long time.
I think a lot of times you can feel like other people you're around are like really perfect and they have their whole life together, but going to small groups has taught me that like everyone has similar struggles in life, and so getting to like connect with other people and like hear about other people's struggles like is helpful, because like, you know, you're not going through things alone, and just because like someone looks so great doesn't mean like that they feel great about themselves or really confident. And so that's been encouraging to have like a great group of girls who want to help you through life and know like you're all in it together.
This is really broad, but I have to say the people. You know, everyone, like the leaders, the children, just kidding, the students. Yeah, you know, coming into IDX as a new member, it was sort of hard. There were some days like I came in and I was like, that was fun, but I don't think I want to do it again. But you know, I stuck through with it, and I really liked it, because I really, like, the first two like Sundays were like, oh my gosh, nobody here, like, I really don't talk. I mean, yeah, so it was sort of hard, but then I started coming out of my comfort zone, and I started talking more, cracking some jokes. People laughed even though it wasn't that funny, but you know, people laughed, and I think I'm like, wow, thank you so much. I think, you know, Jesus was like, yeah, this is where you should be, and like, these are the people, and here are the people that I've placed for you.
So, at IDX, I have felt an overwhelming sense of home, and like never in my life have I ever like felt like I belong somewhere so much. And so in 7th grade, Amelia brought me to in-town, and when I came here, everyone already felt like a family, but then they welcomed me with open arms, and it was just such a crazy feeling to already be welcomed in. But so I loved it for my first year, and then 8th grade I was invited to another youth group, so I I went to that church and I ended up staying there for a couple months, and nobody in town went to my school, and so I just kind of started going there. But then one night, someone from IDX texted me and they said, hey, like, you haven't been coming to youth a lot, you should come tonight. And then I'd already been planning to go to the other church, so I ended up telling the person in town that I couldn't come. And then I went to the other church and I got there and it just didn't feel right. So I ended up leaving about 30 minutes in and coming back to in town. And I remember walking in and just like taking a deep breath and just like feeling this overwhelming sense of like, okay, God, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, I'm trusting you with this. And that was kind of one of the first times that I really felt like I like trusted in what he was showing me.
Well, Becca and Steve give amazing sermons, and one thing that I've got from that is you have to trust Jesus even through your darkest of times, and that he is your light at the end of the tunnel.
I think one of the biggest things was friendship and community in general. E6 class and whatnot, they always like, sure, you're friends with kids, but it was nothing like serious and deep. It was more like, you know, we talk to each other, we like to do these two things, so it's like, you're just like childhood friends, you know. You have this kind of people where you like the same things, you always hang out together, you know. So I feel like that's what it really was Sunday school and E6 growing up. But going into IDX, not the first year maybe, but like really after the first year of IDX, I started getting to know people, communicating better, just learned about fellowship with each other through God and Jesus. Like, it's not about all the bad things of like relationships, you know, what people really want, but more of like what we should want in a relationship. And so I felt like that was one of the biggest things that impacted me most.
Going to Breakaway and going to Forge is always tons of fun because you're surrounded by so many other Christians your age, and it's really encouraging to see so many people like excited about Jesus. And like at school, a lot of times it can feel like, oh, no one else my age is a Christian. And going on those trips, yeah, you just see like how there are so many other Christians and how you're not like alone in the world.
Becca and Ruthie have just taught me so much about myself and Jesus, and they've always been there for me and always supported me and been my shoulder to cry on, and they've always just told me that I can do anything I put my mind to, and like they've really shown me how to live through Jesus and like how to just like live life to the fullest, and I'll always be thankful for everything they've done for me.
Junior year at Breakaway, we had a speaker, and he was talking about how we are all image bearers of God. And you know, I've grown up in the church, I've heard that all the time, image bearers, but he came up with this really good illustration of how kingdoms, because they didn't have the internet or anything, what they used to do is build these statues of the king so people could see this is the person who's my ruler, who I serve. The teacher, he said that we are those statues and we are reflecting God's glory, and we are actually God. We are not him at all, but we are reflecting him. And if people would ever like scoff at the statues or throw things at the statues or push them over, then the ruler, the king, would rain down justice, and he would not stand for that. And then also how we're supposed to view others as those image bearers, whether we're exhausted or they're really annoying or anything, to remember that they're image bearers and they deserve respect and love and dignity.
One specific memory was at Forge. We snuck out at like 2 a.m. in the morning I snuck out with my small group, and we sat on the gazebo looking out over the pond. And I remember us asking Becca and Ruthie questions about life and adulthood and what our future would be as a group. And that's when I realized that I am in a special place in my life right now with these women.
Sort of going off of the same thread of just familyness, this past summer we had a bunch of Brewster's nights where the senior high, we sent out a text in the group me and the text chat, and we asked, hey, who all wants to get together? Well, there was this one night where we all went to Fellini's and then to Brewster's and then back to Fellini's or something like that, and we found these pet rocks and we named them, and it was just so much fun, and I really felt really close to these people and through those connections close to God, because of these godly people just that I was spending my time with.
The Chicago trip I just took in spring break, that really impacted me a lot in general, especially like socially communicating with other people that you don't know, different, not even just the fact that they're different race or different color, it's just like, just people in general you don't see in the public and whatnot. Like, and to see as I mean, like, you don't talk to, you don't really acknowledge them, you just walk by every day. But that's really like made me more aware in how I can talk to others and be aware of what's going on around me without being selfish and without being selfish.
Yeah, so there's this day where I was the only person from my group, from my small group that came, and so it was just Cooper and Chilton and me, and we just had like a conversation about like my life because they didn't really like know me, and so I told them everything, literally, just kidding, but like I let them know like everything, and I really just got close with them as leaders and as people, and they're really cool. Yeah.
Definitely, like, Breakaway, we had like there was a talk one year about emotions, and I still think about it all the time. I have the little sheet in my Bible, I open up to them, like, I think just like learning how to deal with my emotions, and like even when I have like when they're really intense, and it's like I don't know what to do, and I'm like, oh, like this. Forge, where we talked about legacy, that really like left an impact on me. I look back at those notes a lot too. So, yeah.
It's not what we do that defines us. It's not our accomplishments. It's not what grades we get. It's not what musicals we're in. But it's the fact that we are children of God and that we are loved. And that is where our identity is in. And that is just such a good reminder. And I often forget it. And I need people to tell me, this is where your identity lies. It's not in what you do.
My small group is so special and so wonderful, and because of that we are called the Unicorns, as Becca and Ruthie named us before I even got here. But there's just something unique about our group of girls and how much we love each other genuinely, and we want to be together, and that has just been the biggest blessing in my life. And having Becca and Ruthie as our leaders, we really couldn't ask for better role models, and they have taught me so much about myself and about life and really made me who I am today, and I couldn't be more grateful for them or their influence. And then also just my 6th grade small group this year, y'all are the best. You're the cutest, and I think something that IDX has definitely taught me is to never underestimate people and how much they can teach you, like no matter who it is, like they can influence your life so much, like whether it's Becca and Ruthie, or it's my 6th grade small group, or it's the morons, I don't know. It just, everyone has impacted me in such incredible ways, and I just love that so much about IDX, that no one is on the outside and no one is irrelevant. Like we're all equally important and can all, have stuff to bring and to give.
Advice.
Advice for underclassmen.
Be yourself. I know that's so like out there and like everyone says that, but it's great, because there's gonna be people who like don't like you for some reason, there's gonna be people who like love you for some reason, and like those people who love you for you being yourself is the people you want to be around with, and like you don't have to like sort of filter yourself or like change in order to like be with this group of people, because I mean personally I'd rather to be with somebody that with people that like me for who I am, rather than people who like me because I do this and that and other stuff. And IDX has created a safe space for me, so where I can be who I am and like literally not filter myself. I know people think I'm crazy a lot of times, and that's fine because they still love me and I love them, and it's great. Yeah.
Don't skip Sundays for dates with girls. I did that a lot. I skipped IDX just to go on dates with girls, and I regret it now because look at me, single as a Pringle. But I did enjoy it. I mean, I enjoyed it while it happened, but in the long term, it's not. You don't want to miss it. God over girls. You know how they say bros before girls. That's the clean version. We'll say God over girls today. And wait for the rest. Don't skip Sundays for girls.
I would say expand your friend groups. I consider IDX as a family, so you have to know each one of your like family members and get to know them and talk to them outside of youth group and just have fun and while trusting Jesus.
I'd say, so obviously in the past year or so, we've really come together a lot more. Like we already were, but like at Breakaway last year, we just came together so much as a family, and that was such a cool experience, and it's been so cool to see that continue to grow over this past year. And so just, I encourage you all to keep that going and not give that up, and just as new 8th graders come up and the next year the 7th graders come up, just like keep bringing them in and keep welcoming them into this family, because it really is a family, and just that is so special, and you don't find that everywhere. And so just don't take it for granted and don't let it go. You know, make it a priority to come to IDX. Like if you love your small group, let them know. Like be there every week, and it's so cool to see like when everyone is there every week, like how much you can grow together. So yeah, love each other, build each other up, and make each other look more like Jesus. And that's it. Yeah, love you guys.
I would tell the younger students that this youth group is going to be your second family. It was for me, definitely. I like to think of the church as sort of like a second home / playground / friend's house. But it's, yeah, this youth group will be your family, and you should get to know everyone, because these are all your brothers and sisters, and you're gonna have a ton of fun.
Take advantage of the leaders you have around you. They are all incredible people who love you a lot and who know a lot. And if you ever have a question or you just want to talk about life and just talk to someone about anything, just text them and they would be happy to. And they are so wise. And even when you see no solutions, they'll remind you of the truth and the gospel and point you towards Jesus and be such good encouragers. And it's great to have people who are further along in their walk, who just have more experience and just have seen more of life, that can love you and be your friend, and that this is a place that you will be loved and you will be accepted. And just so many people who will hug you when you're sad and dance with you when you're happy, and go to Brewster's 2 times a week, 3 times a week during the summer. It's a family. And so continue to build the family. If you ever are like, I have nothing to do, text the group me. Surely someone will respond and be like, yes, let's go get ice cream. Let's go do something. Let's go on adventures. Just continue to build the family and talk to people outside of your small group. There's so many wonderful people, and get to know those people and love those people.
Just be intentional about your relationship with God and your relationship with people who love God, and don't let the fact that everybody's telling you not to believe in Jesus and that you're crazy or whatever, like just don't let that bother you, and just keep like loving God, loving people, Yeah.
I would say definitely keep coming to IDX, like really invest in it, because sometimes you might feel like, oh, not many of my friends are coming, or I have too much homework tonight. But the more you come and the more you build friendships and encourage other people, like who might be having a bad day or who feel like they don't have many friends, like you're building up the community and building new relationships and friend groups. And I sort of made a promise to myself to never let homework be an excuse, because it's really easy to do that, but I've had a lot of late nights because of that, because I'm a procrastinator. But it's been really encouraging to me to come and have like a bunch of other kids in my community who I don't necessarily go to school with, but I know every Sunday I can come to church and be encouraged by them and know that like we're believers in Jesus and that there's like a better goal up there.
It does not matter what other people think. Like what other people's opinions of you don't matter, because the only opinion that matters is God's, and He can identify you, and no one else can identify you, and like no one can tell you what your identity is. Like not your family, your friends, your relationship status, even yourself. Like no one defines you but Him. Like you are made in His image, and no one can change that, and he's always walking with you and guiding you, even if you don't feel it.
Yeah, I've learned so much about just everything in general from IDX, and I think that's when they say IDX, I'm probably gonna everything. I don't know.
I'm so glad that I've joined IDX. It's been such a big, it made such a big difference in my life. Yeah, it was something that I will remember forever.
Do you have a nosebleed?
No, we're good.
Also, Isabel and I were gonna do this.
Oh, my brother has this book.
Yeah, it was. Oh my gosh, I forgot their name. Please cut this.
I didn't know where I was going with that.
What are you doing, you psycho?
Get out of here.